After years of being estranged from members of the Vlog Squad, Jeff has recently reconnected with Todd, and it's causing some issues not only between him and Tana, but also issues with his own audience and the friends who had his back over these last few years. It's a mess, so let's get into it. A few weeks ago, Jeff Wittek posted a new podcast episode with none other than Todd Smith from the Vlog Squad titled Why We Stopped Being Friends. If you've been following Jeff's journey over these last, 5 years now, you probably would have never expected Todd and Jeff to ever be sitting in the same room again, able to do a podcast together and actually talk about David Dobrik and everything that happened. It's no secret that David has had an ironclad hold over his friends because at the end of the day, David is their piggy bank. David put them on, they needed David for their careers, and that's a huge reason why Jeff lost all of his friends after the crane accident. Instead of doing what was right and siding with the man who nearly lost his life and was left with lifelong injuries, they stuck by David's side. They've been traveling the world with him for his Snapchat, doing Discovery Plus shows with him, partying, you name it. They've been Team David for the last 5 years, and Jeff was left to rebuild his life on his own from the ground up. Now, I hate to say everything happens for a reason in this situation, because obviously it would be better if Jeff never got hurt, but Jeff breaking free of that group was probably the best thing he ever did for his career. His podcast is better than ever. He has his own thing going on, his own brand. And yes, he probably would have done all those things with or without David. But one thing the Vlog Squad breakup made him find was true friendship. He found true friendship in the people who stuck by him, like Mike, Cody, and especially Tana. I'm sure we all remember that Tana and David were once really good friends. Tana's always been a clout chaser, and being in good with the Vlog Squad was beneficial to her career pre-crane accident. These are people that she sees at parties she goes to, the events she attends. They were very intertwined in her life. Eventually, Tana had to make a decision. Be Team Jeff and stick by him and cut off the friendships that she made with the Vlog Squad, or continue those friendships knowing what they did to Jeff. For a while, it seemed like she was trying to balance the two relationships. She was seen at Dobrik's Pizza, she was taking pictures with David, and you could tell it did bother Jeff to some degree.
That Dobrik's happened to be happening there. I didn't take any photos. I didn't post on the carpet there. I didn't post there at all. I went there for 30 minutes with my best friends. I happened to get dragged into a photo that you didn't like, that people were tweeting us.
And it shouldn't even, but the reason I didn't keep arguing with you when you told me this stuff and you were apologizing, I was like, you shouldn't even have to apologize. It's fine. I'm cool with it.
But I will. I love you.
The only reason that I even have an issue don't go there, that's an op. That's because he was doing that to me with my old friends. He said, you can't hang out with him because if you hang out with him publicly, then you make me look bad. So by him getting you to go there and you hang out with him.
Well, he never got me to go there.
He got a photo of you and that's all he wanted. You fell right in his trap and he got you.
She'd also face a ton of backlash from Jeff's fans whenever she would be seen with David, and people started to call her a fake friend. She eventually did make the decision to be fully Team Jeff, and while publicly it was the right decision, it did cause her some conflict behind the scenes. A few years ago, Tana talked about attending a movie premiere and how she ran into Todd at the premiere, and things got pretty heated between them.
I went to a movie premiere last night. I walk into this event and I got pressed by a grown man.
Yeah.
For things I said. The things that I said on your last podcast about certain people's actions, I was accosted for last night. There's two sides to every story. You don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah. What's the other side?
Made me so mad. It was like, I'm sorry I had his back. There's no two sides to any story. And I've been very nice about the way I support you. And you know what I mean? Wait, I don't even know. It was just really crazy. And other people were around and trying to diffuse the situation, could tell that this guy was being so out of pocket to me. We were going back and forth so hard. And then I called you, asked you to kindly not threaten this man until I left the party. You threatened him approximately.
I didn't threaten anybody. You just said you just said something that set me off. You're like, oh,
yeah.
There's two sides of the story. I was like, oh yeah, there's another side. Let me hear it.
Yeah.
I would love to hear it.
What a crazy, outlandish thing to say.
And Tana has stuck by her story to this day. I think that's why a lot of people were so shocked to see Jeff reunite with Todd, knowing how he treated Tana and how Tana went to bat for Jeff, even though it clearly put her in an awkward and scary situation. Now, Jeff did bring the Tana situation up to Todd on the podcast, but Todd made it sound like Tana wasn't sober, she was trying to get into the picture with them, and she was recalling the story all wrong.
Todd cursed me out or some shit.
I have no hard feelings towards her whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I remember I was sober that night because I was hungover.
Oh, okay.
And it was, she was talking in my ear super loud. And what happened was she tried to hop in a photo with me and Zane. And I was like, I went like this. I didn't touch her.
She did?
I covered her face.
Damn.
I covered her face because I made a joke. But that's my side. That's what I remember, you know. No hard feelings.
No, I
whatsoever,
believe you.
know?
Yeah, because you were like, there's 3 sides to every story or something like that. But I thought you were talking about us. But I guess you're talking about just like Tana taking a picture or not, or however that interaction happened. You guys got in an argument.
I was so disappointed in how Jeff handled this situation. He was kind of like, oh man, Tana, almost believing Todd right away and playfully scolding Tana for lying. And I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me. I think if Jeff wants to reunite with Todd and he feels like the friendship is worth salvaging, then yeah, that's his prerogative, and who am I or anyone else to say that he's making a bad decision? But we have to look at all the facts. Todd had 5 years to make things right. He had 5 years to stop drinking the Kool-Aid and come back down to earth. Todd did try to explain how he was dating Natalie, and that made it even harder for him to leave the group. And I get that, but you have to wonder why he's coming around to Jeff now. Is it only because he no longer has Natalie and he's now drifted apart from David, and now he's like, oh shit, I need some friends? It just feels too little too late, and I know Jeff said he's not going to jump back into being best friends with him or anything like that, but I do hope he's really careful. The bottom line is Todd wasn't there for Jeff during the worst times of his life when he actually needed friends there for him, and while it's great to be forgiving and all, let's forgive and maybe not fully forget. It also sounds like Tana feels the same way. Jeff had Tana on the other day, and she echoed the same sentiment. She said Jeff needs to be careful and expressed a lot of hesitation with the newfound friendship.
And Todd, of course, is the one that you got into it with, who was my closest friend out of that group. You know, we would have special bonds, like we would hike together and work out and like basically be
And I know
therapists.
that. Yeah. And I know that.
And he's the only one who shed a tear for me out of that whole group, like actually cried.
There is actually a lot of empathy in my heart that I know that you having him on and what you guys did that day was healing for you, and that's all that matters to me.
She said Todd lied about what happened right to Jeff's face and recalled her story, which she's told many times over and over again, and it's always stayed the same.
He lied. Everything he said about me was a lie. About that interaction was a lie.
Yeah.
And Tana said it felt wrong for this man to be standing over her at this event and screaming at her.
And I walked up to Todd, and like I originally said in the original episode of Jeff FM, he begins on a tangent where he is so clearly livid about the fact that there are 2 sides to every story. Todd then started yelling at me, by the way, that there are 2 sides to every story. I said, what, Jeff and the crane? And then he got so pissed and he starts yelling at me. Oh damn, this grown man is screaming in my face and I am a girl. And like that, you feel that feeling in your chest and you're like,
what was he
shit,
screaming at you?
that there's 2 sides to every story. I don't think no that's what you scream at me.
Drug addict, liar.
No, just that there's 2 sides to every story.
Two-faced.
And yeah.
So, I mean, it's pretty clear that Tana is some degree of hurt or bothered by the situation, and even though she's not trying to control Jeff and say who he can and can't be friends with, you can tell she isn't in full support of this reunion. She even pointed out to Jeff that Todd isn't out of that group by choice. He's out because Natalie dumped him.
Right? Yeah. Like you're done tanning at Dobrik's and you are ready to enter this new era and you're coming back. And
no, it's not. Natalie dumped him, so that's why.
Which, yeah. So what? So now you are trying to rewrite wrongs and yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that. So he's not out by choice. He's out by, okay, that's interesting. But anyways, you would think.
I'm sure he could still get in the pool. but like,
Yeah.
you know.
Now, here's where things get messy. Jeff and his team decided to spring a phone call with Todd on Tana live on the podcast. And I'll give it to Tana, she took things very well. She held her own, she stood up for herself.
Jeff is so forgiving, and Jeff really, like, even just across our friendship, always discussed how much he missed you. And so it
So gay.
it's
When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
it's true.
Like
So I was really happy to see that, but
like
I can't respect that you lied. I think you're a liar. And that's like, you said that I wanted a photo with you and Zane, and that is just not what happened.
Tana and Todd went at it. Tana had her side, Todd was denying everything that Tana recalled. It was pretty uncomfortable to watch.
Put it behind us.
I
Put it
mean,
behind us. Let's.
I disagree.
That's how I
And
remember it. It's all good. It's all good. That's just how we remember it two different ways.
so you don't remember screaming in my face specifically about the fact that there are two sides to every story in regard to David and Jeff.
Dude, I can't do this again.
Because you lied.
I didn't scream in your face.
I'm
No,
sorry.
I didn't, Tana.
I'm sorry.
You were yelling in my ear.
I was not yelling in your ear, Todd.
I wish
Okay,
I
you
had
said
the camera footage of like the
And I
security
mean,
cameras.
Yeah,
I didn't think this was going to happen today.
I didn't either. I swear. I just was excited to see you.
And Jeff was really trying to play devil's advocate. He was saying like it was years ago, things are misconstrued, let's move on, let's put it behind us.
That's not what happened.
This is also
All right, it's all good.
years and years
doesn't
ago.
matter.
I'm sure things are misconstrued and memory. Am I allowed to be friends with Todd?
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Tana, you do look beautiful, by the way. I mean that. 100%.
Do you really in your
you're
heart?
hitting on her, bro. You going that
No,
route? You
not-
can't. You
not-
can't
not-
charm
not-
her. Sorry
Him
about that
this
night.
round.
Sorry about that night.
I
Just
think-
like,
I
throw it
think
in
we
there.
all
Just
go
throw
on
that. Throw in a
high if you guys
little
want to.
apology.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you guys went through that because I care deeply about both of you. Obviously, Tana more.
But it's like, why should Tana have to put it behind her? She was in this position because she was defending you and sticking by you. And this man was screaming at her and getting into it with her. When all of this went down and Jeff heard about it, he was also really upset too. I mean, Jeff wouldn't like it if someone told him to put what happened to him and David behind him. I know the proportions of how serious the situations are don't match up, but still. It upset Tana. She felt put off by Todd's behavior. She shouldn't have to put it behind her just because Jeff decided to be friends with Todd again. They also started to try and cool things off by joking about the situation and having a laugh, and it just made things worse because you could tell Tana is so bothered by what happened. And people in the comments aren't happy with the way Jeff handled the situation. Some of the top comments read, "So disappointed in Jeff. It's giving I'm acting cool around the boys towards a girl who was literally there for him at his lowest. I don't doubt Jeff loves Tana as a friend, but he will be just like any other man and will always be a boy's boy. Jeff, don't forget, Todd picked David's side willingly and was forced to leave because of the breakup. Tana has always stood by your side. Check your male friends." This was my favorite podcast, and Jeff's been my favorite for years, but watching him not stick up for Tana like she's continuously done for him, I never thought Jeff would be cowardly like that. Tana deserves better. Even when Todd was like, "Oh, I can't do this again," and trying to brush Tana off and sighing and making it sound like she's prolonging some type of drama is so typical of a man.
Dude, I can't do this again. Dude, I can't do this again.
You bring up something that's bugging you or an issue you're having, and instead of having a constructive conversation, it's, "Oh, I don't want drama. Let's agree to disagree. Let's move on. I can't do this." It's so typical, and I'm so happy that Tana didn't back down to Todd on this one. Trisha and Oscar also reacted to Tana on Jeff FM during Just Trish, and you can tell Trisha really isn't a big Jeff Wittek fan.
Well, Tana had told me in person, I saw her Friday, and she's like, I can't keep going back on Jeff because he's always the drama, and she's trying to get away from drama. She's like, "Jeff, do you not understand? Like, this is why I left. This is why I'm stopping Canceled. I don't want to be in the drama. I don't want to be part of the drama." Sounds like Jeff. He definitely
He's messy
calls
boots.
people.
He is
Yeah,
messy.
like,
And Tana was kind of sweet about it. She was like, "Well, I know that, you know, this is a good friendship for you to have. I like that it was healing or whatever." And then there goes Jeffrey Wittek being like, "Oh, that's so gay." I'm like, "Oh my God.
No.
Yes!" I'm like, "Jeffrey, let's get it together here."
I really think, oh my God, that's sad. I feel like something, okay, I'm not going to speculate, but that's sad. do you mean?
Having
What?
a friendship with just another straight guy is
Oh, I hate.
gay. I know, Jeffrey. We gotta get it together.
Oh
over
my
there.
God, that's ick.
And Trisha says she 100% believes Tana and talked about how Todd isn't the best person.
Imagine how that went down. I so need like a witness. If you were at that premiere of that one Paramount, me reaching out to the Paramount employees,
Yeah,
I'm like,
I don't even
anyone
need a
was
witness.
there.
I believe Tana because I think Tana, like, she gets details right. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she's not someone who just makes up. I don't ever think there's a time where she just like lied about anything, right? Like if you think about the Mindy situation, anything, like all the stories always like, and I believe her on this one. I think Todd, I've known to lie about things. So I known him to lie about things. I know Tana not to lie about things. So I'm going to believe Tana on this one.
Overall, I really do think Jeff needs to be careful with who he lets in. It would be such a shame to see him go back to the friends who left him when he needed them the most and forget about the people who were actually there for him. I'm not at all saying that's what's happening, but I think Tana was onto something when she brought up how Todd isn't out of the group by choice. It's not like he woke up one day and had this big change of heart and ditched David and realized how wrong he was. He's out because he was dumped and now it's awkward and he needs friends. Who's absolutely killing it now, is finally on a good path, gets views, and has found success on his own? Jeff. What a perfect replacement to latch onto. I think forgiveness is great. Everyone makes mistakes and things shouldn't be held against them for the rest of their life, but it's also a good thing to not fully forget and to also remember who was there for you when no one else was. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about everything down below, and I'll see you next time.